Welcome to Spirit Hunters Paranormal 911. My name is Tim, and the video I'm going to do today is going to be down the educational side. We're going to be doing kind of an informational thing on spirits or entities, how we classify them. Now, this subject is kind of controversial. There's a lot of people that have different beliefs, how they feel, on this subject. Everybody just kind of has their own opinion of how they think this is. The figures that I'm going to be giving is going to be more or less from my research, my studies, my beliefs, my opinion, on what I believe. Not saying it is true fact, it's just what I believe is actually what's going on. There are, in my opinion, there are two basic categories of energy. You got your negative energy and you have your positive energy. Positive energy, usually that means it's more down the lines of high energy, good spirits, as to where negative energy is more on the dark side, something that is more or less evil. Now, out of these two categories, we kind of break those down. In the positive spirits, I believe there are two kinds. There is residual and there is intelligent. Residual, I believe, is more spirits that have died. They don't know that they have passed on. They're more or less just still living their lives. These non-residual spirits, to me, from doing a lot of cases and the studies and doing EVPs, I'm coming to kind of believe that when we're trying to do a spirit box session, you always have a lot of voices and everything coming through, but you're not getting any response back on a lot of it. You hear them talking, but they're not answering you. And I believe that they don't even know we're here. They don't know that they've passed on. Like I say, they're just talking. It's almost like they're talking amongst themselves, holding their own conversations. I believe, that's could be a possibility of the reason why you hear a lot of talk but not getting any response back to any of the questions you have. They're just talking amongst themselves. Now, on the intelligent spirit, I believe they do know they have passed on, and I don't know if they decided to stay behind. Can't figure out where they were supposed to go. They didn't know how to cross over. Don't really know. But I believe they are still amongst us, and they are intelligent. When we communicate with them, they know that we're here, and that's where we get our response back in our spirit box stations or EVPs, or getting them to do something for us by touching us, moving an object, making a sound, even coming in for showing themselves. I call them more of an intelligent spirit. Now, on the dark side, it's the same thing. I believe there are two categories of negative energy. You have your poltergeist, and I believe a poltergeist is not necessarily an evil energy or an evil spirit. I believe it is just something that has been disturbed. What I mean by that is I'm finding in a lot of places that where you get things, poltergeist to me is something where there's objects being moved, turned upside down, thrown, broken. It's kind of like I say, it's an angry spirit. And I believe that it could be because maybe if it owned that house prior to whoever just moved into it, the person that moved into it, they may be doing something to the house or that spirit doesn't like. So they're kind of rebelling, I guess, in a way you could say, to kind of let you know. Or another theory I have is they always say in a graveyard, you do not disturb the grave. You know, you don't dig it up or you don't desecrate it or anything like that, because it will aggravate the spirit. That spirit can also be doing poltergeist type activities. Another thing is, a lot of times in the old days where people were buried, there's no markers, nobody even knows they're there. So possibly a building was built on it, or a house was built on it, a road was built across it. You know, I believe that's another possible theory that why poltergeist activity happens. Because still again, that grave is being disturbed in one way or another. So you're getting poltergeist activity. The second spirit, I believe, on the negative side, we know them today as demons, you know, or demonic. These are more or less spirits or entities that had a way to get through a portal coming in to our realm. A lot of times it was caused by some type of ritual, possibly a seance or a Ouija board. I mean, there's several different ways of things that were done that kind of open up a gateway that allow kind of a demonic or a demon energy come through into our realm. Those, I would say, between the poltergeist and the demonic is worse. You know, they're here for, I don't know, a purpose, I guess you could say, that they're coming into our realm to possess somebody, kind of control them, take them over. I also believe a demonic spirit can control positive spirits, you know, by making them kind of do their bidding, do whatever they want them to do. Demonic spirit, a lot of times, they're not actually doing the act themselves. They're having something that they're controlling, you know, do these acts. Now, like I say, I can't prove it. I don't think anybody really can. This is just from all the research and the studies that I've done over the years, going to different places, performing different type of investigations, experiments, even teaming up with other paranormal groups, ones that you know, do a lot of their research on Ouija boards or seances, or even you know, getting into the rituals, you know, where they have I guess demon worshiping, witchcraft, voodoo. There's probably a lot of them out there. You know, it's just research I've been able to gather over the years, you know, from other groups and doing some of these experiments myself. So basically those are the four categories and the two groups, I believe, that are there. Now I want to kind of talk on basically how I come up with this theory or this belief. I do a lot of, like I say, I go around to a lot of places, do a lot of investigation, a lot of research. But in my spirit box is where I get a lot of, I guess, what I believe or what I get come through to kind of make me believe that this is possibly what's happening. On your demonic, or not your demonic, let's go back to the positive energies. Your residual, like I say, they don't want to communicate with us, like they don't know, so I can't really go with anything there. But on the intelligent, I do talk to a lot of spirits, and you know, they answer a lot of questions that, you know, give me a lot of the information or the knowledge that I kind of look for while I'm doing my research. And you know, talking with them, you get a lot of questions answered. You don't find out probably as much as there is to find out, because we can't make them tell us what we want to know or what we're trying to learn. We just go with what we can get from them. On the poltergeist, I have been in those situations, and I have been able to communicate with those type of spirits. And most of the time that I'm finding out, I'm getting reasons why they are aggravated, why they do some of the things they do. Sometimes I don't. And then on the poltergeist, I can't say that I've really talked with a demon, although I've had some of them come back that tell me that they are the demon, but there's no way of proving that that's what they are. It's kind of hard to tell on that side of the situation. Now, I do get a lot of questions that are asked to me, basically how, a lot of spirits are able to go back and forth from their realm to our realm. Well, obviously it probably has to be some type of portal, and whether you are making the portal opening up for them to come through I believe is the major way that they're getting here. But there's a lot of stories and what people say, other investigators, that they can use mirrors to come through. I haven't been able to get, I guess, conclusive evidence that that's actually the way it's happening. It's a very good possibility. A lot of the other documented videos that I've watched, talking with other paranormal groups that say that's what they believe, who knows? It's a very good possibility. Some of the other questions I get, well, I have a spirit in my house, or I have something evil, a dark energy. They want to know if there's a way to get rid of them. In my belief, yes, there is. You have to be somewhat knowledgeable in that kind of field to be able to more or less cleanse a house or a place, a business, be able to get rid of them, to have them leave. But there are ways to do that if you have the person that has the knowledge or the training that's able to do that. Demons, they're a little bit more difficult. If you get something that's demonic that comes through, you can do a house cleansing, you can do all kinds of different things to get rid of them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're gone. They may be silent for a while. They may just be off somewhere hiding, kind of letting it cool down, but then they always seem to come back. And people kind of wonder, why I got rid of it? Why are they back? I believe they never left. They might not be bothering you at the moment, but they're still around. As to where your regular energy spirits, usually if you just tell them that you don't want them there, you want them to leave, majority of the time, I'd say maybe 95%, they'll leave. Spirits kind of come back and forth. I'm finding a lot of places that have a family member that passed away, they kind of linger around, or they hang around. They stay with the family, or they stay in the home that they either built or lived in all their life. That was their, I guess, their place of security, their sanctuary, place they felt safe, place they grew up in. They seem to always go back to places like that. They may not do anything, by letting you know that they are there, but I do believe that they are there. But there are some spirits that you're in a home and you just get that feeling that there's something there, something watching you, or little subtle things. Maybe a cup got moved, or you're hearing sounds here and there. I would say that was more than likely a spirit of a family member or somebody lived there. That's their way of kind of letting us know that they are there. They're not there to harm us in any way. They're just there, kind of like a guardian angel in a way. They're just there watching over us. So, a lot of people get scared or afraid, when they have something like that happen, that there's something there that's evil, that's out to hurt them. Not necessarily. If it was out to hurt you or something, it would let you know. You start seeing stuff thrown or broke or moved or possibly some type of injury to you, whether you got scratched or pushed or, different things. So yeah, I always tell, people that ask me these questions, that was one of the first questions. Do you feel threatened? Is there anything that's injuring you in any way? If not, I would not get that concerned about it. Another question I have is, people that I guess do seances or Ouija boards or, these type of situations, they, a lot of them say, well, it's not real, it does not happen. And even in these people that play like these games like Charlie Charlie or Bloody Mary, amongst many others, they say that it's not real, it's just a game to kind of scare each other. My belief is, yes, they are real. They may not happen, when you do it, because it's kind of like a ritual, you're almost having to say the right chant in order to make these activities actually happen. Just like a spirit board or Ouija board. They give you the game rules and everything, but they don't give you those particulars on kind of like a prayer, except it's a chant of certain words you say, which more or less opens that portal that allows that spirit that you're trying to communicate with or something else come through. That's what actually makes the board work. If you're just playing it kind of like a game, doing by the rules they say, where you take the pochette and you just go around 3 times and then you start asking questions, you may have something happen, but I would say majority of the time you won't. So you're going to believe it's not real. And it's kind of like any game. Well, I don't really want to call them games because they're not a game. They might sound like a game and they act like a game, but when you're dealing with a spiritual or paranormal world of inviting spirits or demons or entities, to join you to play, it's not really a game at that point because things can go terribly wrong. So, if you're going to do something like that, I would suggest that you kind of study up on it and learn as much as you can about it. Or even better yet, if you know somebody that has the experience or has done something like this before, get them to be with you because they're going to be more knowledgeable of the situation. They kind of already know what possibly could happen, or they're there to, if something does, they know what they need to do in order to stop it, to close it out. So kind of be mindful of that. Try to have somebody that knows what they're doing. Don't just get a board and go out there and start playing it, not really knowing or having any idea what you're doing, because it could backfire on you. Another question that I get asked quite a bit is about orbs and shadow figures, blobs, stuff like that. I try to find my information on the orbs because a lot of people will say, well, I've seen a white orb, or I've seen a blue orb, or a yellow, or a black orb. The different colors in the orbs, they do kind of represent that type of energy. I do know that the white orb is more of a high, I guess, intelligent, powered spirit. A lot of people say they're angels. They could be angels, or I believe it's just a spirit with a lot of energy. I know if you see more of a bright or a distinct, kind of more of a circlish type orb, even in all orbs, if it's more a solid color and, kind of a circular type shape, I believe those are spirits that, have a lot of energy, as to where you see some that are kind of transparent, kind of out of shape or something like that. I believe that they just have less energy. And of course, those are real hard to tell on whether it's actually a spirit orb or whether it's just like a dust particle that's floating around, you know. But I find that an orb, they're more in a slow moving pattern. They're not like a bug where they kind of go all over the place, you know. It's more just like a straight line, or they may go up and kind of curve down, but they go and stop and kind of linger, just reverse, go back and forth, you know. Those are kind of distinct that, yes, that is a spirit, or that is an orb. Another thing that you'll see that can pretty much say, yeah, well, that's got to be, is when you see it and it goes towards a wall or a door, and it's like it just goes right off into it, or goes down through the floor, or up through the ceiling. You know, spirits are able to go through objects. So, you know, keep that in mind. You see something like that, then you can pretty much say, all right, that is a spirit or an orb. About blobs, I've heard a lot of different rumors. I can't say for myself that I've seen one, but I've heard from other stories, other people that have seen these type of shapes, and of course a lot of them think that that's something demonic, kind of like a black shadow figure. If it's a black shadow, or black or dark or something like that, everybody automatically thinks it's evil, it's demonic. I don't believe that's true, because I have seen shadow figures, black shadow figures, and I have communicated with them through the spirit box. You know, even with the ability I have being an empath, I'm able to pick up on a lot of that type of energy, and you know, can pretty much say what type of energy that is or what that is. Being able to see them, talk to them, sense their energy. So I would say no, they're not demonic or evil just because they're black. In the blobs, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about that, just from what I've heard. Hopefully one day I will come across something like that, and I can have a little bit better information on, you know, what they are. But I do believe that it is some type of a spirit. You know, it's just, spirits show themselves in many different ways. Whatever they feel like, what type of energy or whatever design or shape or whatever they want. Some spirits they'll come across as flashing lights. You may be in a room and all of a sudden you saw like a flash of light over here in the corner. Could be a blue, could be red, could be green, white. You know, it's just like a flash of light. And more likely that is a spirit. That is just one way they are able to kind of not fully manifest, but just show themselves by a flash of light. Kind of like an orb. That is a way that they can present themselves. They're able to form in like a form. A mist. If you're out somewhere, like a cemetery, is where I've mainly seen it, is see like a mist, almost like a fog, kind of go across. It'd be almost like somebody was smoking, took a puff off their cigarette and blew it out. It'd kind of be like that. But you know, you see that and you say, oh, I know that's smoke. But this is kind of like a mist. It's kind of transparent, almost like a fog. A lot of times that is a spirit. That's one way that they're kind of showing themselves. When you see like a shadow figure, you know, it's like they're trying to manifest, but that's as far as they could go. Like they didn't, that's all the energy they had to be able to do that. You may see, start to see one that has more of a shape of a person. You know, that just means they have a little bit more energy. Or you see some, one that has more or less turned into an apparition, was able to manifest to where you can see that it is a person. You start to see features like the face or the hands, be able to see like the clothing that they're wearing. That is a very, very strong energy when they're able to manifest. Another question I get is, well, how do they get the energy to do this type of thing? There's many ways that they get energy. They get it from power sources. They're able to draw energy from us. They're able to draw energy from like our flashlights, our cameras, from a battery type source, from our spirit box or K2 meter or flashlights. I think I already said, different ways they can get it. They also say if you're around a strong flowing river, that is an energy form. They draw off of that. Electrical storms, they draw energy off of that. Some say that if it's a full moon, they're able to draw energy that way. I can't say for sure that that is actually true. I do know that if I'm doing an investigation or during a full moon, I do seem like I get a lot more activity, as to where if there's not a full moon, you just get activity kind of here and there. So that could be a possibility that a full moon does give them the energy to do a lot of things. Also, during, I guess, these next few months, I call it fall time, that the veil is kind of like a wall that separates our world from their world. It's thinner, and a lot more activity happens during this time of year through October, November, December, September, usually around Halloween when it's really its strongest. And I almost believe that's why they came up with Halloween for that time of the year, because that's when this veil is the thinnest, and it seems like all the haunting or the spookiness comes out that time of year. That's just kind of theory. That's just what everybody says. Whether it's actually the real reason, we don't know. We're just going with that kind of flow that, yeah, that sounds good to me. That's what it is. But I do know that a lot more things happen during this time of year. Another one of the questions that I get is more or less, I guess you would say, down the line of, I don't know, how you communicate with spirits, how we're able to be able to talk to the dead, especially if we don't have any kind of gift or ability to be able to do that. It helps if you do. It helps me out quite a bit with what I do, because I'm able to see a lot more, hear a lot more, be able to pick up on a lot more, as to where somebody that doesn't, you can still communicate with spirits. You don't have to have any type of special gift. You just got to kind of have an open mind, a logical mind. You got to have the patience to do something like this. There's many ways that you can communicate or get some kind of response from a spirit. You don't have to have any equipment. You don't have to have a camera, camcorder, spirit box, EMF meter. You don't have to have any of these type of objects or equipment to be able to do that. When I started out a long time ago, we didn't even have digital cameras. We didn't have the EMF meters or a lot of this stuff that they have nowadays. We had to improvise. We had the old-fashioned cassette recorders, which we used to get our EVPs. We used like flashlights to get them to turn them on or off. You got your lights in your house. You can get them to go turn the light on, turn the light off. Use a toy object like a ball or a baby doll or some kind of battery operated musical type instrument. Have them interact with that. There's many different ways. You can get them to, if you're here with us, knock 2 times, make a knocking sound, close a door, move something. I mean, there's many ways that you can do this without even having to have any equipment. And they say, well, how do you know if they're answering your questions? Set up kind of a guideline. Say, I'm going to ask some questions, yes or no. If it's a yes, knock one time. If it's no, knock twice. You know, that's a way you can get a yes or no answer to some of your questions. Now you can't get a lot of the questions like what color are you wearing, or what's my name, or something like that. No, you're going to have to almost have a spirit box to be able to do something like that. But there's other things you can do to still be able to communicate with spirits. I think I pretty much covered a lot of the things that I want to on this video. I will be having other videos that I will be doing. Probably one, I've had a lot of people ask me questions on how do I know where to go to get spirit activity. I'm going to do a video on that. I want to do a video on a lot of the equipment that's out there, which I'll give some of this information that you don't even have to have the equipment, but I will go over some of the equipment that's available out there and how it works. You know, there's a few other subjects that I want to cover, because I get a lot of questions from people, my viewers, or even people through media that ask a lot of questions, that trying to find answers or opinions, trying to get advice on what they might do, or find out if it's something they should be worried about. So I'm going to kind of do probably a couple videos, maybe 3, on some of the different things that people ask, because it seems to be common on a lot of the subjects I'm hearing is basically they're talking about the same thing. The situation might be a little bit different, you know, but it's still based down that lines. So I'm probably going to talk a few episodes, you know, on some of that. I hope that you enjoy our videos. I hope the educational video that I'm putting out is pretty much informative to you. It helps you out. I know a lot of people are just starting to get into doing paranormal investigations, or some of them that have already started, but there's still a lot they don't know or trying to learn. A lot of times some of this information can help you. So I hope you all enjoy these videos. While you're here, go ahead, jump down there to the bottom, hit that subscribe button, become a member of our family, join our channel. Excuse me. While you're there, if you have any comments or you have a question, be sure to hit that comment button. Let me know your question. You know, I do go over my comments, and I try to get back to them as quick as I can. And you know, be sure to share with all your friends. Hopefully we'll get them to come over and join our channel. And if you enjoy our videos and would like to see more of them, you can always hit that notification bell, and every time one comes out, you'll be notified and you can watch it. Till our next video, y'all have a good day.